Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. The debasement of Roman silver coins was actually greater than we knew. Let's explore! Indeed, look at these lovely coins. Certainly are a testament to the time period, the amazing technological advances, and amazing how pure these coins were even before Christ. In fact, that's what we're going to be talking about here, because the debasement of these coins actually started much sooner and at a quicker pace than many had imagined through a new study. As was shared with me by a member of the community from mining.com, the denarii silver content reveals new facts about the Roman financial crisis and a lesson to many of us here right now, because even though our currency is not backed by precious metals, it is backed by the full faith and credit of the governments that issue these currencies, and they are betraying that faith and that trust as we speak at this very moment, and are about to reset it because of what could be coming very, very soon. And it could happen a lot quicker than we thought, just like it did in Rome. The silver content of the Roman denarii has shed new light on the financial crisis briefly mentioned by the Roman statesman and writer Marcus Tullius Cicero in his essay on moral leadership, De Officiis. According to researchers at the University of Warwick and the University of Liverpool, who analyzed coins of the period, the debasement of the currency was far greater than historians had thought, with coins that had been pure silver before 90 BC cut with just 10% copper 5 years later. Wow, that's a quick transition. The Romans had been used to extremely fine silver coinage, so they may well have lost confidence in the denarius when it ceased to be pure. Matthew Ponting, one of the archaeologists involved in the research, said in a media statement, you think about that, that the Romans at the time, they just knew silver when they held it in their hands. They could tell if it was pure or not, even from 90% impure. That is pretty amazing. So 10% copper 5 years later, and I'm flipping a 90% silver coin now. It happens to be a quarter. But you may remember I posted a video not terribly long ago showing some proof coins that were 90% silver compared to some proof coins that were 999 fine silver. Very hard to tell the difference visually. And my guess is you could probably flip the coins and get maybe a difference in tonality. But for the Roman coins, the way they were struck, it was probably harder to really get much of a tone out of them. And even the look and, the kind of the dirt and the grime that would be on the hands of some of these coins that were circulated in the time. If we take a look at these, most of the coins that you see that have been dug out of the ground now have been cleaned. I mean, it's pretty much the case with all of these coins. They've been cleaned one way or the other. In fact, the examples that you see here are pretty much uncirculated. Some of these coins were hidden away, and they're found in these big hoards that have been discovered throughout history. Once in a while, you'll find some that have been worn out, but maybe the wear is how you can tell if the coins are pure or not, to be able to tell the difference between. But of course, a lot of Romans, they had time in their hand to really study the money and the coins that they had in their possession. For us transitioning, from debasement, it basically went from 90% to no silver. So from 1964 to 1965, and really it wasn't until later in the year, because most of 1965, the 1964 silver that was left in their stockpile was minted without the date 1965 on them. They maintained the date 1964 throughout the time that they released those in 1965 here in the United States of America. The Romans had been used to this extremely fine silver coinage. They very well may have lost confidence, as I mentioned before, when it ceased to be pure. And the precise level of debasement might have been less important to contemporaries than the mere realization that the coin was adulterated and no longer made of true silver. In other words, it was basically tainted with copper. Poynting explained that using a minimally invasive sampling technique to take samples from important coins, he and his colleagues were able to identify a significant decline in the value of the denarius. From being a pure silver coin, the denarius first dropped to under 95% fine, and then it fell again to 90%, with some coins as low as 86%. This would suggest a severe currency crisis. Does that sound familiar? Let's look at the words of Cicero. For the group, the discovery of this significant decrease in value of the denarius brings some clarity to Cicero's 86 BC quote that read, "The coinage was being tossed around so that no one was able to know what he had." That in me involves sound. Again, you hear the sound of this quarter here that is 90% silver. Here's one with no silver in it. You hear the difference. And perhaps the people of the time, with no other devices to keep their attention, they really paid attention to their money, and they knew they were in tune with it. The reference is part of an anecdote describing self-serving behavior by Marcus Gratuitinius, who took credit for a proposal for currency reform worked out jointly by the tribunes in the College of Praetors and became hugely popular with the public as a result. In the years after 91 BC, the Roman state was in danger of becoming bankrupt. Yes, even back then, well before the age of Christ. The Romans were at war with their own allies in Italy, and by the conclusion of the war in 89 BC, there was a debt crisis. Researcher Kevin Butcher said, by 86 BC, there appears to have been a crisis of confidence in the currency, too. Cicero related how the Roman tribunes approached the College of Praetors to resolve the crisis before Gratuitinius claimed sole credit for the collective effort. Butcher pointed out that one theory is that Gratuitinius fixed the exchange rate between the silver denarius and the bronze, which had only recently been reduced in weight. Another proposition states that he published a method for detecting fake denarii and so restored faith in the coinage. Unfortunately, Cicero's choice of words is too obscure for his historians to determine exactly what was going on, the expert said. His purpose in writing about it wasn't to illuminate monetary history. He was just using the incident as an illustration of a Roman magistrate behaving badly by taking credit for the work of others, because that makes sense. And so the way the silver content declined happened in two stages. The results of the metallurgical analysis suggested that the financial difficulties experienced by Rome in these years led to a relaxation of standards at the mint in 90 BC, with the result that the silver content of the coinage declined in two stages, so that by 87 BC the coinage was deliberately alloyed with 5 to 10% copper. Maybe it was meant so that they wouldn't notice, but Gresham's law about the bad money drives out good money. That's probably why you saw a lot of these coins in really good shape, is that they stored them, realizing that, hey, the next round of coins are going to come out are going to have less silver in them. We want to keep the silver because it's the silver that's the value, not the Roman emperor's head or the denomination or what have you. So yes, indeed. So very fascinating. So this could be the meaning of Cicero's words, and the value of the coinage was tossed out because nobody could be certain whether the denarii they had were pure or not, Butcher said. It's all the more noteworthy that around the time Gratuitinius published his edict, the standard of fineness rose sharply, reversing the debasement and restoring the denarius to a high-quality currency. Now, there you go. Tell you what, and I think this is an equivalency, and the lesson to learn here is that we transfer our fiat dollars, that's these paper notes here, we transfer them to true money, money that has lasted for thousands of years, silver. For the archaeologist, although the precise chronology remains uncertain, the new scientific data suggests that it could have been the main aim of Gratidianus' edict rather than something to do with the exchange rates between silver and bronze or detecting forgeries. In the decades that followed, the Romans avoided debasing the denarius again until the state once again forced huge expenses during the civil war between Pompey and Julius Caesar. Even then, the Roman mint did not go as far as it had in the time of Gratidianus. It's a fascinating story and a part of history that many people don't realize. Now you know. It just goes to show you that the people are in tune. And I think we're seeing an awakening here now with the populace. And I think that this debasement of Roman silver coins, greater than we knew at that particular time, is a lesson for us all. Stack silver. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video. And thanks to the person who shared this with me. And I want to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.